Mr. Burrows, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it true that the House sent 1,250 House bills to the Senate?
The chair is not specifically advised, but that sounds about accurate.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Is it also true that 100 of those bills were never even referred?
That sounds accurate.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
That of the bills that actually were referred, 450 were never even considered in a Senate committee?
The chair is not advised, but that sounds accurate.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
That less than 50% of the House bills that we sent over were passed by the Senate. Are you aware of that?
The chair is not advised.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
By comparison, is it true that the Senate sent 670 Senate bills to the House?
That sounds about right.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
That of the Senate bills sent over to the House, 99% of those were referred to committee?
That seems accurate.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Of those bills that were actually referred, 88% of the Senate bills were actually considered in a committee?
That's a lot of work for our Texas House of Representatives committees, and I appreciate them doing that work.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Of those bills considered and passed, is it true that we passed 75% of the Senate bills sent over to us?
75% is a lot of Senate bills, and it sounds accurate, Mr. Burrows.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Yesterday, I believe both the House and Senate had local calendars, and there was a lot of kerfuffle over those. My understanding is...
The chair is not advised of a kerfuffle. The parliamentarians will research that.
Isn't it true, Mr. Speaker, that only one bill on our local House calendar was actually knocked off?
That sounds accurate.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
By contrast, the Senate had a local calendar, and they knocked off 100 House bills. Is that true?
The chair is not advised.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows.
Members, we have about 26 minutes left. As you know, the House is adjourned. They broke quorum. This is what happens when you take 2 days off and do nothing in the last 5 days. You put hard work. Let me just say it. You put hard work by all 31 senators and many House members and all those citizens that worked hard for their legislation, whatever it might be. And important legislation, whether you're for it or against it, important legislation fails. You can't take 2 days off with 5 days to go. You put yourself in a box where you're up against a deadline. And I can't even blame it on the other party for walking out. They got an opportunity to walk out because of the deadline. So I speak for the frustration of anyone watching on camera, for the frustration of 31 senators and 8 lieutenant governor and the people of Texas who expected us to get our job done on time. And I want to remind the people of Texas, the Texas Senate, every bill that got killed over there, we passed weeks and months ago. And they were held to the last 3 or 4 days of session, and a lot of good legislation dies. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. So we've got work to do, like we have done when they were off and we worked 15 and 18-hour days. You did their work on their bills. And I am glad the governor is calling us back. Governor, thank you. We'll be back, and once again, the Senate will get the job done. And we'll hope the House does the second time around. Members, I just want to make a brief statement as we go to adjournment. The governor made a statement the other day that things could get done if the two chambers would stop fighting. The Senate was never fighting. We were working. We did our job. And the governor can count on the Senate doing our job again. And on this bill that we just passed, yesterday where 2 nights ago, working late, this body put on an amendment on 4492, which would have created a framework to create almost $3 billion for ratepayers, residential ratepayers. They ignored us on that amendment. Senator Schwertner called early in the evening, can we sit down and talk about this amendment? While Senator Hancock was working the other side of the bill. No response. No response whatsoever. And then today, when we tried to make that happen again, the message was, we're out of time. So, Governor, when you call us back for a special session, the Senate's willing to put in the time. We lost bills, and we lost help for ratepayers because the clock ran out on the House because it was managed poorly. That's the bottom line. And when we come back, I want the public to know, the Senate that led on Senate Bill 2 and 3, again, important bills to reform ERCOT and PUC and winterization. We passed in April, I guess it was, and we get the bills back with 5 days to go without the proper time to work with the House, which we like to do, to negotiate the best bill we can for the people of Texas. We are not on a timeline, Governor, when you bring us back. Whatever it takes, we're going to do it right and not let the clock run out on the people of Texas. And we passed 4492 today to help ERCOT with its liquidity and some other companies. But the next time for this Lieutenant Governor that we're going to spend billions of dollars concerning the storm, it's going to be to help the people of Texas and the ratepayers. Or I won't call that bill up. I want to be on the record now to say that. We can help ERCOT, we can help businesses, but we have to help the people of Texas and their electric bills. And this is the last time I'm going to call up a bill that doesn't have money in there for ratepayers. We're only doing it because of the deadline. Many of us would have preferred to wait to the special session, but because of the fair concern that you had and I respect, and I agree with, we had to make sure ERCOT had the liquidity to continue to operate during the summer. Outside of that, we would have been a no vote on this bill because we did not have the time to go through this bill like we normally do on major legislation. So that's where we are. I want the House to clearly hear it. Whatever we do in the future, we're helping ratepayers. That's what we said we were going to do when we came in. This body sent a letter signed by 28 or 29 senators to the governor that we wanted to peel back the 32 hours of overpricing that clearly was overpriced. And you passed a bill, I believe unanimously, or 28, 29 votes, to do just that. And the House never even respected this body to even hear the bill. So we started this session, the Texas Senate wanted to roll back the overpricing and help ratepayers. We finished the session wanting to help ratepayers. And for 5 months, nothing happened in that other chamber. And here's where we end it. We're not going to let that happen again. Whether we're here 30 days or multiple sessions, we're not going to let that happen again. We're not going to be played by their bad management of their calendar. You've had a great session, members. We've passed great legislation. We've worked together as a team. I'm proud of you.